you can just go?
The sidewalk?
Yes.
I would say the sidewalk itself is easy. It's the stone wall and the riprap. So I would say if you include the stone wall and the riprap, 5 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So, how about the East Main Street roadway? We asked the question how long that takes. About how long are they projecting that?
We'd like to get it done by November 15th.
That includes water main and
Everything.
everything.
At the same time, we will be running the sewer line and the gas. I'll talk about the gas in a minute. The sewer line that we have coming out to the end of Legacy Farms Road, that'll go across Main Street, so eventually go to the north. Now, the gas company, I'm sure some of you have noticed, we did a little excavation on the end of Wilson Street near Rafferty. And the reason we did that was the gas company told us that they need to run a 12-inch gas main from Wilson Street all the way to East Main Street. So that's about 8,000 feet. It's literally going to parallel the edge of the proposed Legacy Farms Road north. So it'll be into the edge of one side of the road. And they said if we don't do that, they're going to run out of gas this winter. So they want to get that done. We actually had, over the last couple of weeks, we had all the trees and brush and grass cut. And we had a GPS center line put in for the whole gas line. And so they're hoping to start that probably in the next 2 weeks. But they've got to start on East Main Street because I told them they're going to get that in and across up to Peach, well up Peach. So when we do the work on the main road, they're not digging it up again.
Hockey rink.
Okay, I get a phone call from one of the Demons representatives last week who told me after doing quite a bit of exploratory research, they've decided not to do the hockey rink. I wasn't given exact reasons, but what I got out of it was, my guess is the funding was probably difficult to get to, but the other side they told me is, since they originally started pursuing this 3 years ago, 2 or 3 other hockey rinks have been built in the area, and they just don't think financially it would be as viable as it was 3 years ago.
Okay. So basically, I think,
I asked them to send a letter to Norman to officially tell the town.
okay, I think we as a board can kind of take that as an official no from you, because I
Yes.
think
You can't.
with our agreement, it's between you and us. So I guess as of today, we're viewing that as a no from this board. That's, I'm not sure there's anything we could do if we didn't like that situation, because they're not pursuing it.
They were the only entity that, I'm sorry, were they the only entity that came forward when we put it out for?
Yes, yes.
There are some other entities that may have some interest, but I'll leave that for others to bring up.
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to bring up, Elaine and I had a meeting with Don McAdam recently on the entrance. As you know, the property fronts on East Main Street, and there are some man-made waterways along the perimeter, and part of it comes across the front, and there is a pipe there that goes under the road. And to have a realistic access to the site and have it function properly for coming and going and parking and everything, one would need to either culvert a small section of that, I'll call it a brook, that's really man-made, but to extend the existing pipe 20, 25 feet, and then fill that in and drive across. Makes perfect sense to me. Don was concerned that it may trigger certain other aspects for the Conservation Commission to look at, but unless somehow you can design and get that built, which I think is fairly easy to do, assuming the Concom approves it, you're really not going to have access to the site. So something for the board to think about. Elaine, do you want to add anything?
I think we'll continue to work on that. It's a design issue. I think we'll just continue to work with Roy on that.
I think, this board would be kind of disappointed if we couldn't get access to that parcel off of Main Street. I mean, from a planning standpoint, it makes no sense at all to try to take it off of either Wilson Street or some future small development road, through Legacy.
Would the town ever consider a turf field there?
We would, and your obligation is rough grading, and one of the things I think the town has to do, and as a member of CPC, and I see a couple other CPC type folks here, or one other here, we might end up with the plan in front, and Parks and Rec requested it, particularly the timing for CPC funds needed in the next couple months, you know, add that as the town contribution and kind of build it out. I mean, we still have, I think, enough time to do that. But I'm also not sure from previous discussions with Parks and Rec what type of field they're looking to build at this day.